Thomas, Frank, lovely to speak to you. You were just saying before we started recording, you've been near Malaysia, but not quite to Malaysia. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, true. Went to Thailand, went to Indonesia. So Malaysia, definitely have to be on the bucket list. I have to go there and explore it. I love to travel, by the way, so I would love to do that.
You're more than welcome. The last Dane that I brought down to Malaysia was Brian Laudrup.
Oh, he's a little bigger celebrity than me. Fantastic player. One of the best players, I think, in the world.
Yeah, phenomenal man as well, I should add, not just as a footballer, but as a human being.
Yeah.
Very privileged to have met him. Let's talk about Brentford. One thing we've seen in the past in the Premier League is a so-called second season syndrome. You don't seem to have suffered from that. Were you conscious of that being an issue?
And I was aware of the sayings talking a lot about second season syndrome, but I didn't believe in it, and I don't believe in it. I am hugely respectful of this league because it's a relentless league that is so tough to be in, and we need to fight for every point. But on the other hand, I look at our team last season. I thought we did well. Analyzed the season, our performances, the rest of the league's performances. Looking at the season we're going into, can't see why we couldn't keep up with the same performances or improve, because I have a team that I think can still develop, and we added some promising players. So why not aim for the sky and see where it takes us?
Yeah, because before the season started, there were a lot of question marks about Christian Eriksen not being part of the team. Now, I can understand on one side that would frustrate you, but on the other side, it's almost like you could spring a surprise of sorts. I mean, new signings, new system, new setups, whatever it might be, without Christian Eriksen to surprise opponents.
Yeah, of course, I said that before, I preferred that he stayed, but watching him playing against Arsenal and just being man of the match and doing well, he's a world-class player that deserves to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. That said, I knew that we could replace him either with new players coming in or different ways of doing it. And I think we've proven so far, I know it's a long season, that we need to continue to prove it, that we can cope without him. And we play, I try to play a very dynamic way of football.
And I think we should stress that question was in no way a knock on Christian Eriksen. He is a fabulous player. It's just the context of Brentford, yourself, management, and not having Christian Eriksen. I want to make that clear to anyone watching right now. Let's talk about players that you do have. Ivan Toney, his form, getting the England call-up, but not getting many minutes on the pitch. That must have been disappointing for him. But were you kind of happy in a way because keeping him fresh, injury-free?
First, I agree he's in a phenomenal form, and I think he's done well. I think he got his well-deserved call-up in many ways. Really pleased with that. I think his hat-trick against Leeds was out of this world. 3 so different goals. Well-deserved call-up. I think he deserved to get the debut, but I'm not the head coach. It's not me to decide that. Of course, disappointing. I'm disappointed, he's disappointed, but hey, it's life, it's football. You get setbacks, and it's how you react to those setbacks that define you as a person, character, and a footballer.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nothing new, let's be honest. It's happened to players in the past, it'll happen to players in the future. But one thing that is new, something which I've never experienced in my lifetime, and I'm certain you haven't either, is a World Cup happening in the middle of a league season. Do you think that's beneficial for you in terms of freshness for the rest of the squad who aren't traveling? A pre-season of sorts in a funny way?
Good question. Very good question. I don't know, but I believe in that. Okay, you know what? It is what it is. We need to maximize it and get the most out of it with our players. So the players that are here will definitely be... we will work with them. We will try to add a few bits to the team, try to develop every single player, and make sure that we come back fresh and ready And then the players that are going away, because we're proud of every player that's going to the World Cup, play for their country. We wish them all the best and hope they can succeed.
And I guess in other ways, England is always called out for a proper winter break. So for the players that aren't going, they kind of get a break. Will you allow them a bit of time off, maybe a few days, a week, whatever it might be?
Yeah, they will actually have 2 weeks off because we have six and a half weeks, I think, in between for the first game. So 2 weeks off, and then we'll be ready again, because we can't just continue training with no purpose or target in the end of it. So that'll be good. A little bit of refreshment, as you just said, and then we're ready to go again.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that. What are your targets this year for your side, for Brentford?
Couple of things. One, keep developing, as we talked about that. If in compared to that second season syndrome, we want to keep adding layers to our style of play. We want to end as high as possible, instead of saying one goal of we want to end there and there, or avoid, or no. We want to aim for the sky, see where it takes us, but with that relentless laser focus of the next game.
I need to ask also, we talked about Ivan Toney, very much the front line. What about defensively speaking? I loved watching Ben Mee play at his previous club. I thought he is such an underrated, in many ways, defender. Now he's been added to your defense. What qualities does he bring?
As you said, very good defender. Very good in many ways. He plays with that composure in a very stressful situation, where he needs to do everything he can to block the shot, or step up, or hit the ball away, or get under and clear it again. He played with big composure there, and always ready to do the right things.
Do you have not to say a preference, but do you factor in signing a player who's already played in English football as opposed to a player from the continent, be it from Spain, Italy, Denmark, whatever it might be, simply because of the experience they bring? Because when you sign Ben Mee, you know he can adapt to the Premier League because it's the only league he knows.
You know what? In that aspect, I'm not too bothered. I think that football is football. England, I understand. It's a very intense league and plays in a specific way. Happy to get Ben in with his experience. I think it was good, and also experience from the league, but that's not the top of my list. So when we sign players, it's not, okay, they need to have played in the Premier League. No. In that way, I don't care. If I can see he's a quality player, I'm convinced they will succeed in Premier League.
On that note, then, what about the ideology behind the signings of Aaron Hickey and Lewis Potter? What was your thinking there, your rationale?
Both of them, two very good talents. Really liked him. Aaron Hickey, we think is highly rated fullback, and then done well in Bologna in 2 years. And we thought that he could take the next step with us, and he's done that very well. Lewis Potter, playing in the Championship for Hull, big talent as well as a winger. Good deep runner, arriving in the box, skillful, and convinced that he can take next steps with us as well. And the aim is, when we bring younger players in, it is to play them, or be close, to their starting, or not starting, but around those 15, 16 players. And then hopefully we can improve them and develop them, and then they can go to the next level, plus they lift the team.
And one final thing, I've been very fortunate to have been to the Brentford Community Stadium to watch this match last season. Tell the Malaysians how special that ground is. Tell Malaysians how special the fans are, because the atmosphere, sir, is electric.
Hi all in Malaysia. Really hope that all of you guys can, just one in your lifetime, can get a full experience here, the Brentford G-Tech Stadium. It's a phenomenal atmosphere. I really, really hope you can try that.
Perfect. Thomas, thank you so much. All the best for the rest of the campaign.
Pleasure, Adam. Nice to meet you.